Salutare prieteni și bine ați revenit la să jucăm Gothic 2 Hardcore Challenge. Gothic 2 Night of the Raven, bineînțeles în limba română. Celul trecut am intrat în oraș, am vorbit cu câțiva oameni de pe alea asta. Însă acum ne vom duce la culcare, pentru că a venit noaptea. Overhaul. Ce de oameni pe aici? Ne-a zis NotR.
You still owe me a favor. It is time to pay your debt.
What do you want?
I want my old stall in the marketplace back. Sarah snatched it away from me, but she has had that spot long enough. I want her to give up the stall.
And what's my part in this?
I will give you a letter to stick in her pocket. Then you go to Andre and tell him that Sarah is selling weapons to NotR. She lands in prison, you pocket the bounty, and I get the stall. You have 2 days to accomplish this.
What will happen if I refuse to do that?
That would be truly stupid of you, because you see, I know that you're an escaped convict. If that gets around, it could do considerable harm to your situation in the city.
Don't tell this to anyone.
All right, looks like I've got no choice.
You're a clever lad. Here is the letter.
How am I supposed to force the letter on her?
Let her show you her wares, and while she does, you hide the letter on her. And bear in mind, I am an influential man in the city, so don't try to play me for a fool.
These are bad times.
Show me.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. 85, 60.
That's not what I heard.
He never would have thought of that himself. A long time. But no.
Yes,
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Cyrus, by the explicit order of the honorable Lord.
Nu e nimeni aici. La somn.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gala Square.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
Ok. Ne ducem la somn acum. Luăm patul ăsta de aici. Sleep. Perfect, am dormit. Mulțumesc, doamna Hana Montana. Și afară plouă. Ne întoarcem pe alea principală. Negustorilor sau ce stă acolo. Comercianți. Scuze, comercianți. Unde e ăsta? Tu, Storban.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Cyrus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
Nope.
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Ales în ultima vreme. Mă pot învăța cum să deschid încăpetori?
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Can you sell me some lockpicks?
Well, all right, but they won't be of any use to you as long as you don't know how they work.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Elvrich.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinus without a decent job.
Is that so? What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes.
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing, too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
Okay.
What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants' Rebellion?
Rumor has it that NotR, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. NotR's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see.
Da. Rita. Încă 25. Zap.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Greta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorabin.
How's it going?
Same as always, but I don't want to complain.
Mateo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
Ce poate să ești.
Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes and hairdos, the fine dining and civilized conversations. Everything was better back then. No one would have dared to humiliate the heart of a poor widow with such ridiculous claims. Whatever shall I do? My pension is barely enough to make ends meet, and times are getting even rougher. One sees it everywhere. People must scrimp and save. It's been weeks since the last ship came to town. My husband was the captain of a merchant ship. Actually, he even owned the ship. From his long journeys, he always brought me presents. Exquisite fabrics from the mainland, precious spices from the southern countries. Most people haven't even heard of these things. But then, one day, I got the tidings that the Greta had sunk. That was the name of the ship. My husband called it that out of love for me. I wept and prayed that my husband had survived the disaster. Every day I hoped to hear from him, but all my longing was in vain. May Innes have mercy on his soul. May he rest in peace. Since that time, I have been living under these modest circumstances, and now this soulless, callous Mateo is after the last bit of my life savings. Please have mercy on a poor woman. Back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even at the fine...
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Shut up.
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout. All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house?
Bitch! Puta madre, 200 de gold. But, nu sunt ai mei. Bă, ar trebui să-mi cumpăr o armură, că îmi place cum stau așa îmbrăcat. Băi, uite aici.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
Nu.
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Perfect. 250. Whoop. Da. Perfect. Dă coace.
All right, give me the armor.
You'll love it.
Mai am 11 monede. Unde-i armă? Letter. Și arăt și eu mai om. Să mergem mai departe. Iau bățul ăsta. Torben,
Hey,
your niece is a whore.
your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Mateo can get his money later.
Păi, de unde?
I've already given Mateo his gold.
Damn. Oh well, a debt is a debt. At least you didn't keep the money. I guess I should thank you for that.
Și aveți. Hai, bă. Bă, pretenaș. Brian.
Hey, you!
New in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
Oh, shit. Cum e să fiu ucenic?
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Yep.
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I've learned a lot from him.
De ce vrei să părăsești orașul?
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorpen the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Mateo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Spune-mi mai multe despre asta.
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I...
I can sell you some steel billets.
Vreau. Și să-ți vând eu ție, băi, pretenaș. 5. What? A, bă, nu, frate, nu valorează nimic astea. Mana, că n-am văzut în momentan. Și o bucată de carne. Bă. Mersi. Harrod.
Hey! Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
What the shit? Bă, mai știu să fac săbii? Ia să vedem. Ne-am încălzit. Ne-am mai dat țivaș.
What do you want?
Morocanul ăsta. Du-te de aici. Du-te de aici, n-auzi. Băi, am nevoie de nicovală. Stupid. Come on, Harad. Jesus Christ. Ah, mi-a mirosit asta degeaba. Am distrus-o, nu? Oțel brut. Ah, s-a transformat în oțel brut la loc. Ok, mai avem și pe Constantino, poate îmi vând niște plante. What's up? Nu pot citi asta. Constantino!
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
Nu? De ce nu? Vreau să devin un ucenic. Show me your goods.
Show me your wares.
Wares. What? Aripi. Pot să-ți vând niște plante.
Can I sell you some herbs?
If you have any to offer.
I'm looking to become an apprentice.
Really? And with whom are you going to sign up?
Another master.
I want to sign up with one of the other masters.
You have come to ask my approval?
Da, bineînțeles.
As far as I'm concerned, you can sign up with whoever you like.
You crazy old bastard. He's crazy, man.
Delighted in all the beings equal.
Valentino.
But so great was the wrath of
Gura.
Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Equilibrium. Am o scrisoare pentru tine.
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me?
Seal the message.
Indeed. This is an important message you are bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
De la Cavalorn.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point. Whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
Da. Spune despre inelul de apă.
Tell me about the ring.
And why?
I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? That means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us to trust you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
Come on, lucruri.
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardas told me.
Zardas, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer. So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Cyrus.
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that dragons have come to conquer the country. And you have come to report this to the paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
Așa vezi.
What must I do in order to join the ring?
Know that you take on great responsibility by joining the ring. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
Even if you can really claim responsibility for that, the great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Cyrus these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Cyrus is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However...
Yes?
You should take your message to the paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The Ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
What community should I join?
There are only 3 communities that have enough influence. These are the City Militia, the Monastery of the Fire Magicians, and the troop of mercenaries on the landowner's farm. The choice is yours, son. Laris can certainly assist you with this difficult decision. Talk to him about it.
I shall do that.
Și eu vă întreb pe voi dacă vreți să mă alătur paladinilor sau mercenarilor, și în episodul acesta vă întreb. Și vă voi tot întreba până când ajung...
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
Where can I find...
The best thing would be to look around the marketplace. You will find an emissary of...
Da.
Wait, if you see Laris, give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
What? Ok, urmează să încheie episodul aici Așa că ne vedem în episodul următor, unde vom face câteva lucruri interesante. Nu trebuie să ratați episodul ăla. Ne îndreptăm spre Pearl Harbor. Mulțumesc pentru vizionare. Ne vedem în episodul următor. Pa, pa!
Now am I wrong for trying to reach the things that I can't see? But that's just how